Alright, against the odds time, Saheelia in Modern. And this hand is, yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it. This could be alright. If our opponent's on a really fast matchup, oh, Mill. It's Mill. Well, the only good news about Mill is if we can somehow live long enough to Sun Titan, we should be able to combo off because all the stuff will be in our graveyard. There's a glimpse, targeting us. Mills a bunch of stuff that wasn't super helpful. Well, Crack, Flooded Strand, Hollowed Fountain tapped. Down to 14. Archive Trap. Yup, down to hardly any cards in our deck. Well, there's a Path. Well, let's just Path that thing. Alright, our singular goal is to live long enough to Sun Titan. Watergrave tapped. Crypt Incursion, exiles our creatures, does not stop our combo. So there's a Plains. Let's Flicker Wisp, target our Plains. Pass the turn. Our opponent actually hasn't milled a Saheeli yet. Polluta Delta, and passes. There's a Path. Well, let's get in with our Flicker Wisp. Play a Ghost Quarter, play a Flicker Wisp. Opponent cracks Polluta Delta. Watery Grave tapped. Then we'll blink a Flicker Wisp. Get back a Flicker Wisp. Flicker Watery Grave. Where's our Saheelies? Hedron Crab for our opponent. Plays a land. No Saheelies yet, which I think means we can't Sun Titan yet. Gets back Watery Grave, unless our opponent mills Saheelies here. One Saheeli? I don't think one Saheeli does it. I can't believe we've only milled one Saheeli. Well, let's Path a Flicker Wisp. Get our last Plains. Draw a Path. Play Ghost Quarter. Get in with Flicker Wisp. Path Hedron Crab. Play Mortar Pod. Pass the turn. Oh, Visions. That's not good. That might mean we're just dead. Inquisition sees our Sun Titan. Swamp. Ensnaring Bridge. We draw Supreme Verdict. So we can Sun Titan, get back Saheeli, copy Sun Titan, get back Flicker Wisp, or get back Detention Sphere. I think we do that. So Sun Titan, get back Saheeli. Alright, our opponent's last card with Surgical Extraction, which actually takes so many Saheelies out of our deck. Pass the turn, and that's probably the game. Because we can't even attack with our Sun Titan. Supreme Verdict doesn't help. How many Sun Titans are left? A couple, but we have to draw them. Lone Missionary, pass the turn, and there's the mill card. Okay, that was interesting. Also sort of unfortunate. We don't really have a way to shuffle our graveyard back in. Mill is a bad matchup, it's a bad matchup. Can't do much about that. We can bring in Dispels and Negates, I guess. Go down Ojutai's Command and Lone Mission. Well, we don't even have enough cards. Path to Exile's bad. Well, it's better than Sudden Shock. I don't know. This just feels like a bad matchup. We can randomly win by comboing, but that requires a lot of things to go right. Alright, we'll keep this. Oh my goodness. Alright. Ghost Quarter, I guess. That was not our plan. It was supposed to be Emiria. Opponent has Hedron Crab. Well, Hallowed Fountain, untapped. And Wall of Omens. Draws us a card. Flooded Strand, pass turn. Opponent starts milling. Saheeli, Sun Titan, gets another land. Path, Wall, Detention Sphere. And there's Surgical Extraction on Sun Titan. Opponent passes. Well, Sacred Foundry, untapped. Play Saheeli. Scry, deal a damage. Well, we'll keep Negate, but it's going to get milled, I'm sure. Opponent plays land, does some milling. They've been drawing all their fetches, which is what you want with Hedron Crab. Mills some more cards, plays Mesmeric Orb. Mills some more cards. We get a Flicker Wisp. Well, let's play Pilgrim's Eye. Get a Plains. Copy Pilgrim's Eye. Get our last Plains. Opponent Archive Traps, of course. And Visions of Beyond, sure. We get another Plains, get in for 1. Play Emiria, pass turn. Inquisition's gonna take our Flicker Wisp. I mean, alright, that was a bad matchup. Fair enough. Alright, against the odds time. Saheelia. I think I'm going with Saheelia. Saheelia in Modern. Gemstone Mine and Sleight of Hand. I do not know if we can beat a fast combo deck. Let's just Hallowed Fountain, tapped, pass the turn. This is probably Ad Nauseam. There's the Prism. Our opponent is setting up for a pretty fast kill. I don't think this Jeez, we drew our one of negate. Alright, Flooded Strand, go. Well, our one of negate gives us some weird slight chance. There's an Angel's Grace. Well, I think we gotta counter this. Crack Flooded Strand. At least try to counter it. Get a Plains. They could have Pact of Negation. Negate? Oh, it worked. Alright. Well, things are coming up us. Sacred Foundry, untapped. Let's Court Hussar. Find more lands. Try to get to our combo. Let's take Path. Path lets us Court Hussar for land next turn, then Path a Court Hussar. Opponent passes. Lone Missionary. Alright, let's get in with Court Hussar. Put our opponent to 19. Play another Court Hussar. Hope we find a land this time. There's a land. We will take Hallowed Fountain. Put the rest to the bottom. Hallowed Fountain, untapped. Pass the turn. Opponent finds a temple. Trying to build back up towards lands. We don't have more counters, so yeah. Opponent's passing. Scribe to the top. Well, let's Path the Court Hussar. Get a Plains. Alright, let's blue, white, red. Actually, no, we're doing this wrong. Let's Phantasmal Image. Maybe we can backdoor our way into this combo. Phantasmal Image. Copy Court Hussar. Get a Scalding Tarn. Then Saheeli Rai. Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Take up Saheeli Rai. Path to the bottom. Pass the turn. Opponent found a Phyrexian Unlife. Okay. Well, let's see what we draw. We could always blink that. We get a Ghost Quarter. I wonder how many basics this deck plays. I wonder if we can go on the Ghost Quarter plan. Probably maybe 2, I would guess. Well, I think we're gonna try it. So we Ghost Quarter, attack with both Court Hussars, play a Sun Titan, get back a Flooded Strand, crack Flooded Strand, get a Plains, take up Saheeli Rai, Supreme Verdict to the bottom, and then just play a Lone Missionary. And pass the turn. Next turn, we might be able to do some serious Sun Titan damage with Ghost Quarter. Opponent gets another land. And passes. We draw a Path. Well, let's just Path to exile our Court Hussar. Saheeli, copy Sun Titan. Get back Phantasmal Image. Copy Sun Titan. Get back Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get an island, go to combat, attack with the crew, get back Scalding Tarn, get back Flooded Strand, hit our opponent to 0, opponent plays Spoils of the Vault, what'd they get? An Ad Nauseam. Then we Flicker Wisp, blink Phyrexian Unlife. Does this mean we lose? I think maybe. Alright, pass the turn. Oh, Sun Titan copy goes away. Unlife comes back. Does our opponent have an untapped mana source? Oh, they don't! Oh my god. Saheeli Rai copying Sun Titan. No infinite combo, but it got us the win. Oh my god. So, what do we even have against this deck? Dispel for sure. Worship, yes please. Stony Silence. Go down the Supreme Verdict. 2 pass. Alright, try it like that. We gotta mulligan this. This is pretty bad. Okay. Pilgrim's Eye to the bottom. We need more action. Lotus Bloom, suspended, and Urborg for our opponent. Now, Flooded Strand, go. Lotus Bloom, ticking down. Now, let's thin our deck. Crack Flooded Strand, get a Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Play a Plains, play Lone Missionary. Ship the turn. Opponent is gonna have Lotus Bloom in like 1 turn. Opponent's passing. There's the Sun Titan. Well, let's get in with Lone Missionary. Play Ghost Quarter. Play Flicker Wisp. Flicker our... Yeah, let's Flicker Lone Missionary. I don't think we can gain enough life for this to matter, though. Pass the turn. Opponent gets their Lotus Bloom. Coming down off Suspend. Jumping their mana. Opponent's hand is not working out for them. Alright, goes with Phyrexian Unlife. Interesting. Well, let's attack with both. Play Court Hussar. Get another Flicker Wisp is really good here. Court Hussar dies. We play Hallowed Fountain. And pass the turn. Alright, untap. Another Flicker Wisp. Well, this is going to make things really easy. Get in with both. Flicker Wisp. Flickering Flicker Wisp. Sacred Foundry tapped. Get back Flicker Wisp, targeting Urborg. No Saheeli Rai, but our opponent just has not been able to cast anything. Alright, opponent passes, gets back their Urborg, discard something. Well, this is going to work out just because our opponent didn't draw lands. Attack with everything, hit our opponent to exactly 0. Then Flicker Wisp, Flicker Phyrexian on life, and our opponent scoops it up. Saheeli is sweet in this deck. I mean, the last game we won because our opponent didn't have any action, but Saheeli copying Sun Titans is actually really good. Alright, against the odds time, Saheelia in Modern. And we gotta ship this one. Alright. I guess this is better-ish. As much as I like Court Hussar, gotta put it to the bottom. So, Sacred Foundry go. Opponent probing. And Delver of Secrets for our opponent. Well, let's play the Ghost Quarter. Let's Wall of Omens, because we need to draw some lands. Or Wall of Omens. So many walls. Does our opponent get the blind flip? Of course. I swear to God, I've never had an opponent not flip a blind Delver. Out of like, I don't know, probably 1,000 times my opponents played a turn 1 Delver. Pretty sure they blind flipped it all 1,000. Opponent passes. Well, let's Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Land, please. Get a Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Flooded Strand for our opponent. Gets in with the Delver. Down to 14. Plays another Delver. Well, crack Flooded Strand, get a Hallowed Fountain. Well, we're a land away from Wrathing. Yeah, let's do that. Hallowed Fountain, drop to 11. And let's just Supreme Verdict. Pass the turn. Hope we don't die to bolts. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand, gets Steambend stepped. Straight blue-red Delver? Interesting. Another land for our opponent. And passes. Well, let's Wall of Omens. Draws us a card. Well, let's play Emiria. Pass the turn, leave up our path. Lone Missionary is pretty helpful here. Grim Lavamancer. Yeah, let's path that. Opponent gets a land. Lone Missionary. Try to gain some life. Resolves. And then a Court Hussar. Mana Leaked. Alright, pass turn. Nice thing about our deck is most of our cards feel so bad people don't want to counter them. Opponent gets a Delver. We get an Island. Well, let's get in with Lone Missionary. Play an Island, play Saheeli, and let's just take up Scry Draw. Ghost Quarter to the bottom, and pass the turn. Does our opponent get a blind flip? Oh, of course. I don't know why I deceived myself into thinking it might not happen. Opponent gets in with Delver, down to 12. Well, let's play Phantasmal Image, see what our opponent does. Opponent's going to kill Lone Missionary. I'll copy Wall of Omens, draw a card. Flooded Strand. Copy Wall of Omens, draw a card. More lands. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Pass the turn. We might just die to this Delver. Is our opponent going to kill Saheeli? No. Kill us, or hit us. On the way to killing us. Lightning bolts they have 3 bolts. Bolts are face. Bolts are face. Alright, opponent had 3 bolts. And always blind flip the Delver. I swear to God. Blessed Alliance comes in. Lone Missionary comes in. Worship comes in. Sudden Shock. And maybe Dispel? That's a lot of changes. Think we go down Phantasmal Image. Go down a Pilgrim's Eye. Go down a Path. A Detention Sphere. Supreme Verdict. Try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. Emiria, go. Opponent probes. Flooded Strand. Cracks Flooded Strand. And there's a Delver. Opponent has to have something to blind flip on turn 1. Well, let's play the Island. Pass the turn. So, is time 1002 going to hold true? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yup. Of course. Yes, sirree. Well, let's see if we can make our opponent sack it. Opponent has a Spell Snare. Gets in for 3. Well, we play a Sacred Foundry, untapped. Play Court Hussar. Let's get a Lone Missionary. We need lands, but I think Lone Missionary is important. Pass the turn. Opponent gets in with the Delver. Down to 12. Thought Scours. Finds the land they needed. We get a Sun Titan we can't cast. Get in with Court Hussar. Play Lone Missionary. Go up to 16. Dispel the spell snare. Pass turn. Opponent attacks with Delver. Down to 13. Serum Visions. And another Delver. We get an Amiria. Well, let's Saheeli. Copy Lone Missionary. Play Amiria. Attack with everything. Pass a turn. Blind Delver flip? Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess this time our opponent had a Serum Visions, which helps, but jeez, really? Delver, number 3, and a Serum Visions to set up the Delver flip. That was a good draw. So let's attack with both. Opponent blocks. That is fine. And we will just Supreme Verdict. Get rid of all those Delvers that were making our lives miserable. Opponent has 1,000,000 mana leaks in hand. Let's pass the turn. Opponent Thought Scours. Well, let's Ojutai's Command. Return a Lone Missionary and draw a card. Back up to 18. And we have a threat on the table. Did not draw a land, though. Opponent passes. Ooh, there's a Flooded Strand. Well, let's get in with Lone Missionary. Opponent kills it. Well, Pilgrim's Eye, get a Plains. Play Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Opponent finds third land. Serum Visions. And Young Pyromancer. Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Plains, Sun Titan. Get back Cortazar. Cortazar gets us a Mortar Pod. Get in for 1. Pass turn. Opponent passes. Well, let's go to combat. Attack with both. Get back a Flooded Strand. Now we just kind of want to set up the Amiria. Snapcaster Mage for our opponent. Gets a Bolt. Bolts our Sun Titan. Blocks and blocks. So Sun Titan down. Unfortunately for our opponent, crack Flooded Strand. Get a Plains. Play a Sun Titan. Get back Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Get a Plains. Play Ghost Quarter. Play Flicker Wisp. Flicker Sun Titan. And pass the turn. Get back a Flooded Strand. And we are very close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not next turn, but the following turn. We have double Amiria, and we could still just find a second Saheeli and go infinite. Lightning Bolt. Alright, opponent bolts and then leaks the bolt just to make some tokens. And scoops. Oh, alright, no combo, but that went pretty well. Try it like that. No Saheeli, but we can just blink our Wall of Omens a bunch. Hopefully find it. Bloodstained Cracks it. Gets the Steam Vents. Delver? Oh yeah. Amiria, go. So can we make it, let's see, 1,005 times in a row? It happened! Our opponent missed a blind Delver flip. Something is seriously wrong in the Magic universe. Well, Hallowed Fountain untapped. And Wall of Omens. Draws us a negate. Pass turn. Thought Scours. Mills, land in a Lavamancer. Cracks Bloodstained Mire. Gets a Steam Vents tapped. No flip again? Whoa! Everything is coming up us. There's Young Pyromancer. Opponent passes. Well, let's play the Plains. Flicker Wisp. Blink our Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Cortazar. Pass turn. Third time? There it is, with a Flame Slash. So our opponent can, like, kill our Flicker. Yeah. Kill our Flicker Wisp. Get a token. Get in with Delver. Puts us down to 14. We draw Scalding Tarn. Well, let's Cortazar. Get a Wall of Omens. Play Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Pass the turn. Serum Visions for our opponent. Gets a token. Would be nice to find our Supreme Verdict. Both on top. Plays land. Gets in with Delver. Down to 11. Well, play Scalding Tarn. Play Flicker Wisp. Flicker the Delver. Get in with Cortazar. And pass turn. Does Delver flip? It does, with a Spell Snare. Opponent goes to combat. And passes. Ooh, okay. Well, let's play a Wall of Omens. Opponent Spell Snares. Play Amiria. Pass the turn. Opponent plays another Young Pyromancer. Oh, Lord. Well, we will block the Delver. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Play Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Play Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Pass the turn. Hope we keep living. We do have a negate. Opponent passes. We get a Cortazar. Well, let's play Cortazar. Well, I guess we take Worship. play Flooded Strand, and pass the turn. Opponent plays a Snapcaster Mage for a Thought Scour. Gonna make some more tokens. Well, the question's gonna be, can we resolve a Worship next turn? There's the Thought Scour, makes more tokens. Have not seen a Saheeli Rai. There's a Delver. Opponent passes. Well, crack Flooded Strand, get a Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Play Worship. Alright, opponent plays a Spell Pierce. So we play 2 for Spell Pierce. And it resolves. Alright. Well, now our opponent has to kill all of our creatures before we die. Delver, or get rid of the Worship. Does not flip. Opponent passes. Well, let's play Sun Titan. Get back a Flicker Wisp. Flicker the Sun Titan. And our opponent's going to Vapor Snag the Sun Titan. Okay. Well, let's pass turn. Delver flips with another Vapor Snag. Oh. That can potentially beat us, because that's loss of life. I don't know if our opponent knows that it can beat us, but if that does kill us through Worship, as awkward as that is. Opponent goes with a huge attack. Well, we kill Young Pyromancer, kill Young Pyromancer, kill Delver, block, and block. Drop to 1. Opponent goes with Vapor Snag. We try to negate. And our opponent has Dispel. Well, that was pretty unfortunate. Alright, fair enough. Alright, against the odds time, Saheelia in Modern. We got a mulligan this. Can't keep the one-lander. Okay, we'll keep this. And we will keep Wall of Omens. Pretty good combo with Flicker Wisp. Oh, Lord. Not very confident. Well, I don't know if Tron is a bad matchup, but I do know that we don't have any of our 4 Ghost Quarters. And our opponent might just have natural Tron. Ghost Quarter? Path to Exile. Well, let's just Hallowed Fountain pass the turn. Well, let's negate Expedition Map. Risky. They might be baiting us with Tron in hand. Okay, Tower. Alright, Flooded Strand. I guess it's Saheeli time. Crack Flooded Strand, Sacred Foundry, untapped. Play Saheeli. Scry. Alright, we'll keep Court Hussar. That gets us 3 deeper for a Ghost Quarter. Tech Edge is not Tron. Well, let's 1, 2, 3. Court Hussar. Grab a Court Hussar. And then Saheeli, copy Court Hussar. There's a Ghost Quarter. Court Hussar dies. We play a Ghost Quarter. Kill the power plant. Oh, this is Blue Tron. Oh. Well, I feel a little more questionable now. Saheeli was sweet, though. Yeah, I didn't realize this was Blue Tron. That makes me feel better and worse. Silent Arbiter. This is an interesting take on Blue Tron. Opponent thirsts again. Conduit of Ruin, Pact of Negation. Oh, my goodness. And some ramp. There's a Sun Titan. Well, let's Court Hussar. Grab a Court Hussar. Copy Court Hussar. We're basically looking for another Ghost Quarter. Grab a Scalding Tarn. No Ghost Quarter. Could mean Tron is about to come down. Get in with a Court Hussar. Play Scalding Tarn, pass the turn. Alright, no Tron yet. Well, let's crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Untapped. Path a Court Hussar. Opponent's going to Condescend. Scries to the top and to the top. That's gotta be Tron. Court Hussar. There's a Ghost Quarter. Attack with our Court Hussars. Play a Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter the power plant. This also ruins our opponent's Scry that they had set up. Pass turn. I don't know if our clock's fast enough to win this game. 3 Court Hussars is a lot, but not that many in the grand scheme of things. We're doing a good job keeping our opponent off Tron, though. Well, let's attack with everything. Play a Wall of Omens. Opponent condescends. Does some scrying. Bottom, bottom. And then Wall of Omens. Come on, land. Alright, Flicker Wisp. Not quite a land. There's an Expedition Map. Cracks Expedition Map. Gets Academy Ruins. There's a land. Well, let's do some attacking. Put our opponent to 10. Flicker Wisp. Flicker a wall. Alright, gets rid of our wall. Opponent's down to 2 cards, though. Sacred Foundry, untapped, and Mortar Pod. And pass the turn. We're actually kind of close to winning next turn. Opponent gets a mine. Plays a Platinum Angel. We get a Wall of Omens. Well, let's do some attacking. Opponent takes it. down to 4. Then we will Wall of Omens, draw a card. We can't leave up Ojutai's command. Well, let's Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp. Opponent lets it go. Yep. We get back Flicker Wisp. Flicker the Mine, so our opponent can't have Tron. Pass turn. Opponent untaps. Another Urza's Tower. Only one card left in hand. Passes, gets back their Tron piece. Another Sun Titan we can't cast. Well, let's do the big attack. And then ideally, Supreme Verdict just wins us the game. Opponent destroys our Emeria, sure. Last card is Cyclonic Rift. Well, ping our opponent down to 3. 1, 2, 3. Cortazar. We need lands. Sacred Foundry. Alright, take Sacred Foundry. Sacred Foundry, untapped. And Wall of Omens, draw a card. There's a path. Then we will discard Mortar Pod. Probably shouldn't have discarded Mortar Pod there, actually. Opponent gets in with Platinum Angel. We draw planes. Well, let's get in with Cortazar. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Path the Platinum Angel. So Platinum Angel down. Yeah, we definitely should have kept Mortapod. Memnarch. Well, let's Ojutai's command. So counter Memnarch, get back Wall. And our opponent scoops it up. Sweet. Alright, sideboarding against Tron. We want Stony Silence. And maybe Detention Sphere. Go down Lone Missionaries. And Mortapod. Try it like that. This is pretty good. Stony Silence into Saheeli Rai. We'll take it. And a Ghost Quarter. Even better. We actually have 2 Saheeli Rais, which means... oh no. Our opponent might have Tron that's too fast for Stony Silence. Well, let's Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Island for our opponent. Ooh. Alright, this Stony Silence is going to be super good. Hallowed Fountain, tapped. And then Sacred Foundry, untapped. Into Stony Silence. And now our Saheeli Rai should be pretty good. Tower for our opponent. And a Thirst. We can't really ultimate Saheeli Rai very well, but it's going to generate a lot of value just scrying through our decks. Our opponent discards an Eldrazi Temple. This is Blue Eldrazi Tron? Well, Scalding Tarn, crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Hallowed Fountain, untapped, and it's Saheeli time. And we even have 2, so... oh, and there's the Sun Titan. Well, we're pretty close to just going infinite, assuming our stuff resolves. Well, let's tick up Saheeli. Phantasmal Image to the bottom for now. Play Ghost Quarter. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Ghost Quarter the Mine, just in case. Can't let our opponent have Tron. Opponent gets another island, and passes. We get another Sun Titan. Well, let's scry with Saheeli. Path to the bottom. Sacred Foundry, tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. There's a land. Alright, so scry with Saheeli. Deal a damage. Island we'll leave on top. Play Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Opponent thirsts. Discards a Expedition map. Wow, did not find a land. Alright, let's untap, draw the land. We could ultimate, but we don't really have anything to ultimate for. Crack Flooded Strand. Do we just play a Sun Titan? Well, let's scry with Saheeli. Get a Flicker Wisp. And let's leave it on top. Play an island. And we're going to play a Sun Titan. If it gets countered, it gets countered. Cast Sun Titan. Yeah, I was expecting a counter. Opponent remands. Alright. Pass turn. Opponent has 1,000,000 cards in hand. Another island. And Padeem. This is a very spicy Tron build. Let's play a Sun Titan. Opponent has Pact of Negation. We'll leave Cortazar on top. Well, our opponent's going to get to draw an extra card, but they have to spend their entire turn paying for Pact of Negation. And then we will probably just play another Sun Titan. Saheeli's done a ton of damage so far. Opponent, yeah, decides that they're never going to kill Saheeli, so they might as well not try. We play Sun Titan number 2. Hopefully there's not another Pact of Negation. Alright. Sun Titan gets back a Flooded Strand. Oh, this combo is so sweet. Saheeli is so good with Sun Titan. And then Saheeli copies Sun Titan, getting back a Flooded Strand. Then we attack with a copy of Sun Titan, getting back a Ghost Quarter. Wow, look at this value. Then we crack Flooded Strand, get a Plains. Crack Flooded Strand, get a Plains. Get in for 6. Then we Flicker Wisp the real Sun Titan. So much value. One Sun Titan goes away, the other one comes back. We get back a Flooded Strand. We crack Flooded Strand. Hollowed Fountain, untapped. And then just Path Padim. Wow, what a turn. Even when we're not going infinite, just the synergy with Saheeli and Sun Titan is absurd. Saheeli has been amazingly good this game. So good. Oh my god. And we can actually just go infinite this next turn if our opponent doesn't have a counter or anything. Well, our opponent probably has removal. Well, let's copy Sun Titan. Get back a Flooded Strand. And our opponent scoops it up. Oh my goodness. Saheeli seems super legit in this deck. Oh, like, I mean, I know the matchup is good, but that was insane. Alright, against the odds time, trying to go infinite with Saheeli in Modern. And we'll keep this. Seems reasonable-ish. Port Town for our opponent. Well, let's just Emiria go. Let's crack Flooded Strand, get a Plains, and just Mortar Pod. Pestern. I don't know what our opponent's up to. Seachrome Coast, and a Sword. Alright. Well, let's Scalding Tarn, crack Scalding Tarn, get a Hollowed Fountain, untapped, and just Court Hussar. Start digging for Saheeli and Sun Titans. Well, let's just take Ojutai's command. Alright, Pestern. Phantasmal Image also does some sweet things with Sun Titan. Glacial Fortress for our opponent. And passes. Well, that's Sacred Foundry untapped. Get in with our Court Hussar. And let's just pass. Leave up Ojutai's command. I keep thinking our opponent's going to have flash creatures. Hollowed Fountain. Tapped. Maybe our opponent just has nothing. Oh, there's Saheeli too. Well, get in 4-1. Yeah, let's just pass turn. Another land for our opponent. And passes. Well, there's Hollowed Fountain. Play a tapped. Get in for 1. Pass the turn. Hopefully we get one more land, and then we can play something and leave up our Ojutai's command. Opponent's going to dismember. Alright, well, let's ping our opponent. Snapcaster Mage. Well, let's counter draw. Alright, 1 threat down. No land, though. Opponent has a Sun Titan of their own. Interesting. Ooh, we can Phantasmal Image, copy Sun Titan, get back a land? That's pretty sweet. Wow, watch this. Alright, Phantasmal Image, copy Sun Titan, get back Flooded Strand. Then let's path our opponent's Sun Titan. Then just play Mortar Pod, get in with Court Hussar, and pass turn. So we can generate value with Saheeli and Sun Titan, but we can't go infinite until we find a second Saheeli. Alright, opponent kills our Sun Titan. Copy. With Steel of the Godhead. Yup. Goes to equip. Well, let's kill Snapcaster. Crack Flooded Strand. Get a Sacred Foundry tapped. We get a Ghost Quarter. Well, let's get in for 1. Play Ghost Quarter. Play Saheeli. Scry. Emiria. Let's put Emiria to the bottom. We pretty much just want another Saheeli to go infinite. Well, Saheeli 1 resolves. Opponent passes. How do we want to do this? Well, let's just Scry, deal a damage, Flicker Wisp. We'll put that to the bottom. We're going for the combo. Play Emiria. Play Flicker Wisp. Flicker a Mortar Pod. Get in with Court Hussar. And pass the turn. Saheeli can also do some pretty sweet stuff with Flicker Wisp. Saheeli's ultimate doesn't do much for us. Alright, let's go attacking. I guess we could have copied Flicker Wisp there. Maybe that would be the right play. Opponent has a path. There goes our Flicker Wisp. We get a Plains. Get in 4-1. And Scry Draw with Saheeli. Yeah, we'll leave that on top. Well, let's put it to the bottom. Play a Wall of Omens. Draw a card. I swear to God that scrying is bugged on Moto. I guess we play Flicker Wisp, get a Plains, play the Plains, pass the turn. And, well, I think we got this game in all kinds of ways. We actually have Emiria active now. Saheeli's been kind of doing work. I don't know. Been dealing damage. It hasn't actually helped us because the scry has been really awkward. I guess we want Dispel. And maybe like detention sphere? Worship is sort of interesting. Maybe just go down to Supreme Verdict, bring in the Dispel. Yeah, let's try it like that. Now, this is awkward. Our single island, we have, what, 4 Ghost Quarters and 1 island that don't make white mana? And we have, well, Hallowed Fountain tapped. Grafdigger's Cage is awkward. That means we can't Saheeli combo. Play the island. Play Mortar Pod. We do have the 1 Detention Sphere to get rid of it eventually. Opponent has a Geist of Saint Traft. Aye. Alright. Well, Court Hussar. Get a Pilgrim's Eye here. Since we can't combo off anyway, we need the lands. Pass the turn. Oh, goodness. Can't be blocked. Lifelink. Jeez. So, we gotta draw our 1 of Supreme Verdict, like, this turn, essentially. Well, in the next 2 turns. Well, let's Court Hussar. See if we can find that Supreme Verdict. We didn't find a land either. This is not looking good here. Alright, get in with Court Hussar. Pass the turn. Yeah, I think we're just dead. And we can't even... Yeah, we're just dead. We can't even draw a Supreme Verdict now. Alright, well, we know what our opponent's doing, which means we can prepare for it and sideboard for it. Down a Detention Sphere, down a Negate, up the Blessed Alliances, and maybe Pyroclasm, down the other Lone Missionary, an Ojutai's Command, and a Mortar Pod, something like this. Alright, we're gonna try this. Blue mana gets us to Court Hussar, which gets us to Supreme Verdict. Port Town for our opponent, untapped. And passes. That is not blue mana, so Sacred Foundry tapped. Although Pyroclasm does get rid of a Geist. Seachrome Coast. Meddling Mage. Name's Verdict. Well, alright, we get a Wall of Omens. Redraw. Hopefully finds us at blue mana. Well, Ghost Quarter sorta gets us to blue mana in a very roundabout, horrible way. Ooh, that's fine though, because we're going to get the blowout here. Not blue mana. Well, we just need to Pyroclasm. Ye old 2-for-1. Still don't have blue mana. Polluted Delta for our opponent. Spellskite, sure. Well, let's Flicker Wisp. Target wall. Opponent can redirect to Spellskite. Yep. Crag's Polluted Delta. I really don't want to Ghost Quarter ourselves. Feels so bad. Detention Sphere for our opponent. Hitting our Flicker Wisp. Yep. And passes. Come on, blue mana! There's blue mana. Alright, let's Court Hussar. Smooth out. Oh, Lord, we missed it again? And let's just take Path. Pass the turn. Wall of Omens for our opponent. Opponent has Nevermore. Name Saheeli. Well, that's going to complicate things. Alright, let's Court Hussar. Take a Flicker Wisp. Play Ghost Quarter. Pass the turn. Hero of Bladehold for our opponent. Maybe we just Path Hero of Bladehold for now. If our opponent redirects to Spellskite, then they do. Alright, redirects to Spellskite, so Spellskite down. We draw Flooded Strand, that's a good draw. So let's Flooded Strand, crack Flooded Strand, get a Plains, and then Sun Titan, get back Flooded Strand, and pass the turn. We somehow need to discard these Saheelis to get them back with our Sun Titan. Alright, opponent's going to Path our Sun Titan. Can't do anything about that. Get a Plains. Our board actually has this Hero of Bladehold pretty much covered. Now it kinda doesn't. Opponent goes attacking. Well, we get to kill the tokens. Well, let's crack Flooded Strand. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Draw another Ghost Quarter. Well, let's do some attacking. Opponent blocks, takes 1. Yeah, let's just Supreme Verdict. Play a Ghost Quarter, pass the turn. Hope nothing goes horribly wrong. Opponent's passing. We get it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I guess we just go for Sun Titan. Ooh, and it resolves. Sun Titan. Let's get ourselves back a Court Hussar. Getting ourselves a... Let's just take another Sun Titan. Play around Path. And pass the turn. There's a Path on our Sun Titan. We get our last Plains. I think we get the combo. 1, 2, 3. So we Flicker Wisp. Targeting... Well, let's just target Nevermore. And then play a Saheeli Rai. Scry, deal a damage. Flooded Strand to the bottom. And then play a Saheeli Rai. Keep the new one. Scry, deal a damage. Another land to the bottom. Pass the turn. So now, if our opponent doesn't name Sun Titan with Nevermore, we get to go infinite. They probably see this coming, though. All right, they choose... Oh, they choose Supreme Verdict? Ooh, we're going to do it! If our opponent doesn't have a counter, we go infinite next turn. Infinite Sun Titans! Yes! Come on, no counter. No counter. Oh, Ojutai's command, that doesn't really help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sun Titan. Yes! We'll just get back a Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Then we Saheeli Rai, copying Sun Titan. Get back Saheeli Rai. We got there. Keep the new Saheeli Rai, copy Sun Titan. Get back Saheeli Rai. This is what we set out to do. Keep the new Saheeli Rai, Sun Titan. Oh, our opponent said cute. Oh, yes! And the GGs! Infinite Sun Titans with Saheeli Rai. Oh, that was pretty sweet. That was pretty sweet. Oh, so what do we learn this week about Saheelia in Modern? And I have to say, I was super impressed with Saheeli Rai in this deck. So, first off, our record was pretty solid. We won 3 out of our 5 matches, good for about 60%, and we won 7 out of our 12 matches, so again, around the same range as far as percentage. So, actually a winning record, which is pretty good for against the odds. Of course, this is sort of one of the less against the odds decks we've played recently. Not super janky. In fact, it draws heavily from Blue, White, and Myria. But this is where I would play Saheeli Rai in Modern if I was going to take a Saheeli Rai deck to a GP. And even though it's not a brand new crazy deck, and it's kind of a known entity, the Myria aspect of it at least, I have to say that Saheeli Rai was absolutely insane in this deck. So, we did actually get the Infinite Sun Titan combo once. We would have had it twice, but our opponent scooped right before it would have happened. So, occasionally, we do get the Infinite Sun Titan, and that's why I kind of built this deck. This felt like the best way to support the Infinite Sun Titans with Saheeli Rai in Modern. However, what I didn't realize is just how good Saheeli Rai is in this deck in general. Like, there were so many times where we could use Saheeli Rai to copy a Court Hussar to find a Ghost Quarter to keep our opponent off Tron, copy a Flicker Wisp to flicker our Flicker Wisp to get rid of one of our opponent's lands so they couldn't combo off with Ad Nauseam. There were so many tricks. It was just so good in this deck. Even just copying Wall of Omens to draw a card or Lone Missionary to gain life would keep us alive against aggressive Delver decks. So just all around, Saheeli Rai was really, really good. We couldn't use the ultimate. What are we going to get? A Mortarpod is like the best thing we could get with the ultimate. So we're not really built for the ultimate. We're built to use mostly the negative ability, although plussing to Scry is reasonable if we can plus a couple times and then use the minus ability multiple times in a row was pretty nice. So I was really amazed to the point where if I was going to play Blue, White, and Myria, I would consider keeping Saheeli Rai in the deck. And I like Blue, White, and Myria. It's one of my favorite decks in Modern, and I think that Saheeli Rai is arguably good enough that it's worth a legitimate slot. If you're going to play a Myria deck at a tournament, it's that good in the deck. It's just, it does so much. It works with like every single creature. It's almost like having an additional Flicker Wisp. It's 3 mana, so it's in the sweet spot to get back with Sun Titan, which is the reason we put it in the deck to begin with, to get the Sun Titan loop. But I was just amazed with Saheeli Rai in this deck. It was very impressive, and like I said, next time I play Blue, White, and Myria, I will probably splash red and keep Saheeli Rai in the deck because it just felt very good in this deck. We can defend it with our Wall of Omens and our Lone Missionaries and our Court Hussars, so it's easy to get down some early defense and start plussing and scrying, and then in the late game, it just does so much. There's so many tricks with Saheeli Rai, and I was thoroughly impressed with how good it was, so I'm very happy with how it turned out. Anyway, that's been our Against the Odds this week. Saheelia making some Infinite Sun Titans with Saheeli Rai and an Myria shell in Modern. Anyway, thank thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.